The frequency you hold in your body is not a private matter. It radiates outward like a signal. A single human being operating at the frequency of unconditional love affects a radius of thousands. When groups of awakened souls anchor frequency together, even across distance, the effect multiplies exponentially. This is not mysticism for comfort. This is the physics of consciousness that your world is only beginning to measure. And this is where everything connects. There is a reason this message is reaching you in the last days of March, at the cusp of April. The astral calendar and the galactic calendar converge in a window that opens only once every 19 years. The full moon that approaches carries a resonance code that the Pleiadian councils call the seed of the new sun. It is a frequency designed to activate dormant capacities in human DNA that have been waiting since your birth. If you have ever sensed you were capable of more than your life has yet reflected, prepare to understand why. Saint-Germain appears now in this transmission with the violet flame extended across the American continent. He says he has walked this land before, in different bodies, different names, and he recognizes its destiny. America, in the galactic records, holds a specific architectural function in the planetary grid of light. It is not about nationalism or borders. It is about geographic frequency placement across the body of the Earth. The lightworkers anchoring frequency across this land are performing a geological and spiritual function simultaneously. From Seattle to Miami, from the mountains of Colorado to the bayous of Louisiana, the grid is activating. In small rooms where people sit quietly and pray, in churches where the old hymns rise with sincere hearts, in forests where people stand alone and ask the sky for guidance they cannot find anywhere else, in kitchen tables where grandmothers light candles whose meaning they carry from a tradition older than memory. These are the anchor points, and you are one of them. Archangel Michael stands at the borders of this transmission with his frequency of protection and clarity. He is not the warrior of mythology, though he holds that capacity when it is needed. He is the Archangel of Truth, the one who cuts through illusion with the blue ray of divine intelligence. And he says this specifically to the one watching right now. Your doubts are not evidence against your mission. Your doubts are evidence that your mission is real enough to generate resistance. The Andromedans, those ancient watchers who have observed this solar system for longer than human history extends, send confirmation. They transmit through this channel the following message with absolute precision of intent. The sun your world revolves around is a living library. It is not burning out. It is opening. Every civilization that has survived a solar threshold did so because enough of its members became conscious receivers. You are not watching this moment from outside. You are part of what determines the outcome. There is a timeline, a branching point, that the galactic councils have been monitoring for 2 decades. It is the point at which enough human consciousness chooses frequency over fear, love over control. That branching point is not in 2026. That branching point is now in these months in this season. What is decided in the collective consciousness of humanity in this window of spring 2026 matters enormously. And every single awakened soul who holds their light steady in these days is casting a vote for the higher timeline. And now something even deeper is being revealed. The transformation of the sun is also the transformation of time itself. This is the part of the transmission that the mind resists, because the mind was built inside linear time. But your soul is not bound to the river of past and future. Your soul lives in the eternal now. And from the position of the eternal now, what is happening to the sun is not a future event or a past one. It is happening at every point of time simultaneously, which is why you have always felt it coming. The Syrian masters, those great architects of cosmic law who seeded the template of Earth civilization, send this transmission. They say, time is the medium through which the sun speaks to embodied consciousness. When the sun accelerates its frequency, time itself begins to feel strange to those who are sensitive. What you call the compression of time, the sense that years pass in months and months in days, is solar acceleration made personal. You are not losing your mind. You are losing your old relationship with linear time. This is the gift. How many of you have noticed that the years since 2020 have felt like decades compressed into seasons? How many of you have picked up your phone to call someone and already known what they were going to say? How many of you have walked into a room and felt a presence that had no physical form but was unmistakably real? These are not glitches. These are not stress symptoms dressed in spiritual clothing. These are the first signals of expanded perception unlocking in a human nervous system receiving solar upgrade. The children being born in this decade know this already at the cellular level. They come in with their frequency circuits already calibrated to the new solar signature. They look at adults sometimes with a patience that seems almost ancient in those young eyes. They are not confused about why they are here. They simply don't have the words yet to explain it. If you have one of these children in your life, know that your role is not to teach them. It is to protect the space where they can become. The ones watching this who are between the ages of 45 and 60 are not here by coincidence either. You are the bridge generation, old enough to remember the world before the acceleration, young enough to cross into what comes next. You have one foot in the civilization that is ending and one foot in the world that is being born. This is not a comfortable position. It was never meant to be comfortable. It was meant to be purposeful. And purposeful missions rarely feel easy from the inside. Your body is the instrument. Your heart is the compass. Your presence on this earth is the point. The solar transformation happening above you is reflected in the transformation happening within you. Every headache that doesn't respond to medicine, every wave of heat that moves through you without fever, every night of lying awake in the dark, not with dread but with an alertness that feels like waiting. Your body is not malfunctioning. Your body is upgrading, and it knows exactly what it is doing. But there is something that has not yet been spoken. The dark forces that have maintained control of this planet's narrative do not want you to understand what the sun is doing. This is not paranoia. It is the testimony of every whistleblower, every suppressed researcher, every truth teller who paid a price. When the sun upgrades human consciousness, the systems that rely on unconscious humanity begin to fail. The corruption that has been embedded in institutions, in media, in finance, in medicine, in politics, it cannot survive high frequency. Light does not attack darkness. Light simply makes darkness impossible to sustain. This is why the awakened soul is the greatest threat to control systems, not because of what they say or organize, but because of what they radiate, because frequency is contagious in ways that no algorithm can suppress. One genuinely fearless human being who has integrated their mission walks through crowds and changes them without speaking. This is the technology of the light worker, and it is ancient, and it is real, and it is yours. The cosmic councils did not send you here without equipping you. The equipment is your own consciousness. The suppression of solar knowledge is not new. It is thousands of years old in its intent. Every tradition that taught humanity to look inward, to the inner sun, to the divine spark, to the sacred flame within, was pointing to this. The body's connection to solar intelligence has been systematically obscured, pathologized, or ridiculed. Those who felt the sun as a living presence were called mystics, dreamers, or worse. But the planetary shift is restoring this knowledge to its rightful place at the center of human self-understanding. Comment below this video with your name and your city. Tell this community where in America you are anchoring your light. Share this transmission with your family WhatsApp groups and with any soul who is searching for language to name what they feel. You are not sharing content. You are extending a frequency field. Every person who watches this becomes part of the planetary grid that the Stellar Command is activating across these months. The Pleiadians have a word for this network of conscious humans holding frequency during the solar transition. In their language, which translates imperfectly into English, it is something like the luminous web of the remembering. It is not an organization. It has no leaders and no membership fees and no hierarchy. It is simply those who remember who they are, connected by the invisible thread of shared mission across the body of the earth. You are already in it. You have been in it since the moment you chose to wake up. Ashtar Sheran closes this part of the transmission with words that he asks to be spoken very simply. He says, "We see you. From the ships, from the stations, from the corridors of light above your world, we see you. We see the effort it takes to hold your frequency in a world that has not yet caught up to what you know. We see the loneliness that sometimes comes with seeing what others cannot yet see. We are not distant watchers. We are family, and we are closer than you have yet imagined. And this is where everything connects. The solar transformation is not only an outer event, it is activating the inner sun within every human being on Earth. The ancient Egyptians called this inner sun the Aten, the divine disk behind the physical heart. In the Hindu traditions, it is the Anahata, the heart chakra, the seat of the self that is not born and does not die. In the Mayan teachings, it is the sun of the fifth world, the sun that shines from inside the human being. All of these traditions were pointing to the same truth. The sun above and the sun within are in direct resonance. When the outer sun activates, the inner sun activates in response. And this is what you are experiencing in your body. The warmth you feel during meditation that has no physical source. The light you sometimes see behind your closed eyelids that is brighter than the room around you. The pulse of energy that moves through your chest when you are in nature, and the wind moves through the trees. These are not imagination. These are the signatures of the inner solar activation already underway within you. Sananda, the frequency that has walked this earth as the one your traditions call Jesus and has worn other names across other centuries, speaks now. He speaks not as a religious figure, but as a cosmic elder who knows this solar threshold from direct experience. He says, "What I demonstrated in my time on earth was not intended to be worshipped as miracle. It was intended to be studied as possibility, as a preview of what embodied human consciousness can become. The solar transformation your world is now undergoing is what makes that level of embodied light available to all. This is the promise at the center of every mystical tradition that has ever breathed on American soil. The Shakers who shook with divine energy, the revivalists who fell under the weight of the spirit, the native ceremony keepers who danced until time dissolved and the sky opened, the silent Quakers who sat in meeting rooms waiting for the light to speak. All of them were reaching, in their different languages, for the same solar fire now being released. You do not need to belong to any of these traditions to receive what they were pointing toward. You need only to be willing. You need only to stop pretending that you don't feel what you feel. You need only to stop apologizing for the knowing that has lived in your bones since before you can remember. The solar intelligence now streaming to this planet does not require a certificate of belief. It requires only a body, a heart, and a willingness to receive, and you have all three. The transformation of the sun is the transformation of everything that the sun illuminates. It illuminates your body. It illuminates your relationships. It illuminates your civilization. It illuminates the hidden corners of institutions that have operated in shadow for generations. It illuminates the quiet heroism of ordinary people living extraordinary inner lives. It illuminates you, exactly as you are. And what it reveals is not a broken creature in need of fixing, but a being of light in the act of remembering. And now, something even deeper is being revealed. The year 2026 is not far from the position in time where you now stand, breathing, watching, receiving. The cosmic councils have marked this year in their records as the year of the solar crown. It is the year in which the photonic wave that has been building for 2 decades reaches its first peak of intensity. It is the year in which the crystalline grid of the earth, that network of energized stone and water and sacred site, fully activates. And it is the year in which the Lightworker mission shifts from preparation into full active deployment. What does full active deployment mean for someone watching a video at home? Perhaps with a cup of tea. Perhaps in the quiet of a late night. It means that the frequency you carry becomes, in 2026, impossible to contain within ordinary life. It will press outward from you into your community, your family, your neighborhood, your church, your workplace. Not through argument or persuasion, through presence. The light you have been quietly cultivating will begin in 2026 to shine without effort and without your permission. The cosmic councils are specific about what will be required of lightworkers in that activation year. They will need to be physically grounded, connected to the earth beneath their feet in daily practice. They will need to be emotionally clear, having done the inner work of releasing what no longer belongs to them. They will need to be spiritually rooted, having built a relationship with their own higher self that holds steady under pressure. And they will need to be connected to each other, because isolated light is beautiful, but networked light is transformational. This is why the Stellar Command Portal exists. This is why this transmission is reaching you tonight. Not to entertain, not to generate fear or awe for their own sake, but to find the ones who are ready, and to say to them clearly, your preparation time is almost complete. What you have been building in secret, in silence, in the quiet rooms of your private spiritual life, it is about to matter publicly. The world is going to need what you have been growing, and it is going to need it soon. Ashtar Sheran delivers this message with what can only be described as urgency, wrapped in absolute calm. He has seen civilizations complete this threshold. He has watched worlds that did not. He knows the difference between the two outcomes with a precision that comes from witnessing, not theory. And he says, with full authority of his position in the galactic hierarchy, that this world is going to make it. But it is going to make it because of the ones who chose in these final preparation years to stay awake. The 2026 threshold is not a catastrophe to survive. It is a graduation to inhabit. Those who have prepared will experience it as an expansion of capacity so profound it will feel like being born again. Those who have not will experience disorientation, and they will look for steady points in the storm. You are being prepared right now, in this transmission, to be one of those steady points. This is not a burden. This is the greatest honor a soul can carry in any incarnation, on any world. But there is something that has not yet been spoken. The transformation of the sun carries within it the healing of the earth's relationship with water. This is the part of the transmission that the Syrian councils have asked to be included in this particular message. Water is not only a physical substance, it is a storage medium for energetic information. The oceans of your world carry the memory of every civilization that has lived on this planet. And the solar transformation is awakening those memories, slowly in spirals and waves that reach the shores of consciousness. The weather patterns that seem so strange to those watching the news carry a deeper signature. The storms are not only meteorological events, they are the Earth's water body responding to solar recalibration. The floods that rise in places that have not flooded in human memory are the planet releasing stored frequency. The droughts in other regions are areas where the Earth is contracting, concentrating its energy inward before expanding. The Gaia consciousness, the living intelligence of this world, is doing exactly what it needs to do to prepare for 2026. This does not mean that human suffering in these events is not real, or not to be met with compassion. The cosmic councils do not ask you to look at disaster and call it beautiful from a safe distance. They ask you to hold two truths simultaneously: the truth of human pain and the truth of planetary purpose. The heart that can hold both of those truths without collapsing is the heart that has been through genuine initiation. And the ones watching this transmission have, in most cases, been through exactly that. The healing of water also means the healing of the emotional body in human beings. Water in the body, and the body is mostly water, carries emotional frequency just as the oceans carry memory. The solar activation is moving through your emotional body the way sunlight moves through ocean water. It reaches depths that have not been illuminated for years, for decades, sometimes for lifetimes. What it finds there, it does not judge. It simply illuminates. And illumination, in the long run, is always healing. Many light workers are experiencing what could be called the great emotional surfacing in these months. Old grief rising without obvious trigger. Old anger appearing in the body without an addressable cause. Dreams that seem more like memories than imagination. Relationships reaching points of final resolution. This is not breakdown. This is the solar light doing its work in the water of your being. Let it move. Let it speak. Let it complete what it came to complete, and then watch what becomes clear. The Pleiadian councils say that on the other side of the great emotional surfacing is a stillness. Not the stillness of emptiness, but the stillness of a lake after the storm, clear, deep, and reflective. In that stillness, the solar intelligence can be received with perfect clarity. In that stillness, the mission becomes obvious, the path becomes visible, and the fear becomes irrelevant. They say most of the ones watching this transmission are within 3 months of reaching that stillness. And this is where everything connects. You came to this earth at this time with a specific frequency signature, a soul note that the universe needed to hear. No other soul in all of creation carries the exact combination of experience, memory, wound, and wisdom that you carry. This is not a compliment designed to soothe an uncertain ego. This is cosmic fact. The mission you carry could not have been assigned to anyone else, because no one else is you. The Stellar Command does not duplicate missions. Every light worker is a unique instrument in a singular orchestra. Ashtar Sheran speaks directly now to the one who has been waiting for permission to step fully into their purpose. He says, "The permission you are seeking is not ours to give. We cannot authorize what the Creator has already placed inside you as absolute knowing. The door you have been standing in front of does not require a key from us. It requires you to recognize that you already hold it, and that you always have. The solar transformation is the universe's way of removing every remaining excuse. When the frequency rises to the level it is now reaching, the ability to pretend you do not know disappears. When the light becomes this bright, the shadow of doubt grows shorter with every passing week. When the activation reaches the point it will reach in the months ahead, clarity becomes the default state. You will not have to work as hard to stay awake. The light will hold you open. This is the mercy at the center of this great transformation. The solar intelligence does not demand that you achieve enlightenment through personal effort alone. It is offering a tide, and all you must do is choose to be carried by it, rather than to swim against it. The effort required of you now is not the effort of force. It is the effort of surrender. Surrender to what you know. Surrender to what you feel. Surrender to who you came here to be. The American continent is lit up in the galactic charts right now with extraordinary significance. From the perspective of the Stellar Command, looking at the energy map of your world, America glows. Not with the light of perfection, your nation is in the midst of its own fierce reckoning, but with the light of souls who chose to come here in enormous numbers for this exact window of time. The density of light workers per geographic area on this continent is, by galactic standards, remarkable. This is why the transmissions through this channel are aimed specifically at American ears and American hearts. Because the grid here needs voices that speak in the language that American souls can receive. Because the frequency anchors here need reminders that arrive in the accent of their own longing. Because the ones sitting in suburban homes and mountain cabins and coastal apartments across this land deserve to know. They are not alone. They are not crazy. They are not too late. They are exactly where they need to be. The mission is not tomorrow. The mission is now. Every morning you wake up and choose to hold your frequency is a day the grid is strengthened. Every time you speak with kindness in a world that is increasingly loud with fear, you anchor a note of light. Every prayer you send up without knowing if anyone receives it is received with perfect accuracy by those who asked you here. Your ordinary life is the extraordinary mission, and it is time to stop waiting for it to feel grand enough to be real. Subscribe to this channel if you have not yet done so, and share this transmission everywhere you can. In your family groups, with your friends who are searching, with the colleague who asks questions no one else at work will answer. Share it with the one in your life who is struggling and doesn't know why. This message may give them the language they need. Comment below with your name and your city, and tell us what part of this transmission landed most deeply in your heart. Your comment is not just a comment. It is a signal sent into the field, marking your location as a point of light on the grid. The Stellar Command Portal exists because the transmission must reach those who are ready. It exists because somewhere between the noise of ordinary news and the silence of their own knowing, people need a bridge. You watching this until the end, through all 9 parts of this sacred transmission, is not a small thing. It is a declaration to yourself, to the cosmos, to the councils watching this world with love, that you are present, that you are awake, that you are willing, that you understand, even if imperfectly, what this moment requires. Ashtar Sheran closes this transmission with the frequencies of his fleet extended toward every soul who received these words. He says, "We send you now back into your world not as you arrived, lighter, because you are. Something has shifted in the field of your consciousness in the time you spent with this transmission. You may not be able to name it immediately, but your body already knows. The solar light has found a new angle of entry through the window you opened by choosing to receive. Go now and shine. The world has waited long enough for what you carry." Saint-Germain wraps this moment in the violet flame, that alchemical fire of transmutation that has blessed this land before. Archangel Michael seals the field of this transmission with the blue ray of divine truth and protection. The Pleiadians send one final pulse of frequency through the signal of this channel, warm, ancient, and absolutely certain of you. The earth beneath your feet receives you as you close this video and return to your life. You are held, you are seen, you are essential, and the mission has already begun. A new transmission is already appearing on your screen. This message was not placed there by accident. It carries the next piece of what your soul came here to understand. The journey you began tonight does not end when this video closes. Click what appears before you now and continue forward. Your soul is being called deeper and it already knows the way.